The Warriors down 12 in the first half. He went to his mid-range game. He hit some threes. He scored 26 points in all, and he stopped by with Fitz and Buki.
Well, Brandin Podziemski, you got to feel like you played 2 games in less than 24 hours, and you haven't cooled off at all. Tell us about the mindset of playing tonight on this crazy back-to-back.
Yeah, although it's a back-to-back, we're trying to fight for a playoff spot here and try to get as high as we can. And we knew going into these 2 games that we didn't hold the tiebreaker with either of them. And so we're going to have to finish above them outright. And so winning these 2 games, it gives us a better chance than losing them.
I would say you have to be a high IQ basketball player to have big scoring games when the team doesn't really call plays for you. Talk to me about your mentality coming into these games, always making the quick decision when plays aren't necessarily run for you. You just get it out of the flow of the offense.
Yeah, I think, we have a lot of guys, Jimmy and Steph mainly, that create closeouts for others. And it's our responsibility once the closeout's created for us, to either shoot the ball, run through the catch, and make the next closeout. And I think that's where I'm really good. Thankfully, as of late, Steve has been calling some plays for me. So it has been easier because teams are starting to put better defenders on me. But yeah, just trying to make the game simple. If a guy's open, I throw it to him. If I'm open, I shoot it. And just keep everything so simple.
What would you attribute the amazing three-point shooting? Basically the last month, other than Jordan Poole, you have the second most made threes in the NBA. 7 in a game, 8 in a game, 4 again tonight. I mean, you were injured, but you've come out just on fire making threes.
Yeah, I got some great people in my corner that I talked with extensively about it, really shooting down into the physics of it and how my body moves and things that are going to help me personally. And just trying to stay consistent and stay in the moment. Sometimes, you make 2 or 3 in a row and you get excited and you start taking bad ones or you rush it. Just trying to stay in the moment and just take one shot at a time like it's my last shot. And that's just all I've been focused on. I know, like I said to you guys in November when I was struggling, I always know the percentages are going to even out to where they should be because I know how much time and effort, you guys know how much time and effort I put into the gym. So to see it, paying off at the right time of the year is super, super good for me.
You helped get some big stops tonight, and as a team, you guys got some timely stops. A lot of charges drawn. It seems like you're rubbing off on people. What are you saying to the guys about their ability to draw charges? You're kind of helping them out, their technique, they're getting out of the restricted circle. What's happening there?
Yeah, I love when our guys take charges. I think that fires me up more than anything. Obviously, any questions they have, they always ask me, hey, what do you see? What do you do? That kind of gives you that edge. And I try to share those secrets with them. Obviously, Draymond's been doing this for a long time, and so I don't have to really tell him nothing. But to see Steph, to see Gee, guys like that, Moses even, take some charges, it's really good because we're building a culture around that.
Now, you were a good sport about this, but your offensive pyrotechnics have come after the sunburn. Is that now the key to your training regimen?
Yeah, maybe I need to go on a boat in the bay and just lay out and fall asleep on the water and get fried, and then maybe I'll start shooting the ball well again.
Brandin, you're a good kid, man. What a great week you've had. The team is on a roll. You're a big part of it. We appreciate you taking the time.
Thanks, guys. All love.
All right, that is Brandin Podziemski, who, I tell you, the confidence level is amazing, and he's so critical defensively and offensively. But for the Dubs, put a bow on this one. How did they win this game?
Bro, it was inspiring, like I said, but everybody came in with that sense of urgency. Like, we're not going to make an excuse for this game. Let us make all the excuses for them. The long road trip, the second game of back-to-back, they came in going, we're trying to win this game, and they played that way. Wow.
Well, this is one to take a picture and remember this. The Warriors are on a roll. Bring on Houston. And the end of the gauntlet, the playoff push continues with 5 more remaining.
And the Warriors now 15 games over 500. Brandin Podziemski, 19 of 31 from the three-point line over his last 4. And fellas, entering tonight, in his last 19 games, he was shooting 40% from 3. But I thought Mully, his adjustment to go to the mid-range game in the first half was very crucial to the Warriors' offensive success.
No, Pod's decision-making, his shot selection has been on point. 0.5 basketball. These are all beautiful shots. Nice shot. They take away the 3 because they worry about him not coming down threes. He doesn't over-penetrate and take a contested shot. You take the open shot. Just playing beautiful basketball, Fezzi.
This is the poise that you want to see when the playoff comes. This is a big game. And Poz is really showing you and giving you a lot of confidence that when the playoffs come around, this is what he can do.
As you brought up the poise of Podziemski with the Warriors down 12 early in the second quarter, Denver was shooting 70% after the first quarter. It was a mid-range game, settling everything down, and the Warriors ended up scoring 66 points in the first half. And then you have Stephen Curry. What a week for the chef. All right, 52 points Tuesday night against Memphis. 52, 10, and 8 in that game, right? 37 the other night in L.A. And then he's on another heater tonight against the Denver Nuggets, 13-24 overall, 36 points. Heck, fellas, in his last 3 games, he's 23-45 from the three-point line, shooting 51%. And oh, by the way, Mully, he's 37 years old.
He's been amazing. The efficiency numbers off the charts, even for Steph Curry. But what we're seeing a lot now, Fezzi and Bonte, of course, we're seeing Steph work without the basketball. We're seeing the ball in his hands a lot more. Last night, hunting Luka Doncic. Tonight, taking on the bigs of Denver on those switches. So really being aggressive. And Fezzi, you mentioned when he has a big on that switch, he's not giving that ball up. He's making them pay for putting the big on him on the perimeter.
Can I have this dance? This is what Steph Curry says when you put a big man on him. And look at these numbers. I mean, come on.
He's averaging 41.5 in his last 3.
90% from the three-point line. I mean, Steph Curry right now, these are big money. He's shooting 50% from the three-point line.
That looks like Wilt. That looks like Wilt stats.
I'm trying. I don't even want to say it. 41.5, 6 assists and 5 rebounds, 50% from 3, 51 from the floor. That's insane.
Do you know how much conditioning you have to be in to be able to do this on back-to-back nights? Steph, every time Steph comes across half court, teams are doubling him. He's doing this with double teams every night.
14-0, 16-38 for the three-point line, and the Warriors win their 5th consecutive game. They hadn't beaten Denver in the regular season at home since April of 2021. When they get off the snide there, they stay in 5th place in the Western Conference, and we'll hear from Steve Kerr on the other side. And key number 1 was discipline on defense. Denver, they average 120 a game.
Defense wins championships, baby!
Defense in the second and third quarter, holding Denver to 44 combined points in the second and third frames, and then attack the paint, 40-point paints, and then take advantage of when the Joker goes to the bench, Bully.
No question about that. But Bonte, too, you know, I mentioned earlier, Denver's efficiency numbers were off the charts. But the Warriors, once again, win points off turnovers, +6. So the Denver's lack of execution, I think turning down shots that the Warriors role players are knocking down, cost them. They had 8 turnovers in that second quarter where they only scored 16 points. So deceiving that they shoot 54% from the field, 40 from 3, 92 from the line, but could not keep pace with the Warriors, not only pace of play, but their depth.
Defense forced 14 turnovers in the second and third frame, scored 15 points off those turnovers, and really shut down everybody with the exception of Nikola Jokic because he came out rolling, Fezzi fell. Well, 15 in the first.
Bonte, you can't take everything away defensively. Nikola Jokic, this is probably one of the best players in the world, and he was doing everything for the Denver Nuggets. He was moving the ball. He was scoring. From the three-point line, he's 4 for 7. I mean, what more can a man do? But for the Warriors, they did a great job playing team defense, forcing turnovers. If you let Nikola Jokic score, he had a 33-point, almost triple-double. You let him score, you let him do his damage, but you limit the other role players. I think that's where the Warriors can play them. This pass right here. I mean,
that was Larry Bird.
That was Bird-esque.
Yeah. Nikola Jokic is one of the best players, but the ability for the Warriors' small lineup to go against him and be able to almost out-rebound them, got 11 offensive rebounds. These are all the things you do, plus turn them over 26 times. These are all the ways you negate that offense and you add more fuel to yours.
Yeah, Jokic is so amazing. I think the Warriors did actually a really good job on him, and he still got those numbers. But more importantly, for the Warriors, they kept the role players in check. And because of those turnovers they forced, the Warriors are +14 field goal attempts. You know that possession battle is always a key number for the Warriors.
Denver with a season-high 26 turnovers tonight. And the culprit of that, of course, the DPOY candidate, Draymond Green, who's a favorite now at all the betting sites. Look, he had the assignment of guarding Nikola Jokic. They're not going to shut him down. But the one thing you have to do is make him work. And Draymond coming up with critical steals, 8 points, 4 of 8 shooting from the floor. But defensively, he's really putting this to work. Look at that defense on Aaron Gordon right there, Fezzi.
And that was a defensive shot clock violation right there. And Draymond, this was a huge play. Great steal by Russell Westbrook coming down in transition. How many times have you seen Draymond Green in 2-on-1 situations being able to get the stop? That was a one-on-one fast break situation. You know Russell Westbrook is tough in transition, but Draymond Green just having the high IQ to be able to get a steal, get the momentum. You see big buckets in the paint. Whenever Steph Curry gets double-teamed, Draymond's the pressure release, and he creates great plays for the Warriors. I thought a lot of the points for the Warriors throughout the course of this game came from Draymond and Jimmy Butler in the game.
And we talked pregame what a unique defender Draymond is. Just in those clips, you see deflections on the perimeter, you see post-up defense, you see communication, and you talk about that fast break. He also got Christian Braun. Mm-hmm. He had him one-on-one on a fast break, which most people – the best you can do is draw a foul. Draymond clean block. So incredible individual defense. But I think Draymond's true impact is on the team defense. Because, again, you look at those efficiency numbers, you'd think they would win that game. But the fact that they get 14 less field goal attempts just shows that not only Draymond, but the whole team locked in defensively.
So the Warriors improved to 21-4 when Jimmy Butler suits up in uniform, 21-5 overall. You see the percentages there. Denver did shoot 54%, really backed by that monster first quarter, which they shot 70%. The Warriors really did a good job after the first quarter to come up with 14 steals. Once again, 25 assists, and they get the home win over the Denver Nuggets. Let's hear from the head coach of the Golden State Warriors, Steve Kerr, presented by BMW.
Pretty impressive, back-to-back. I've never been a part of a schedule like this where you're on the road 14 days and then you have a back-to-back at home, after the trip. So incredible energy, and the crowd was fantastic. And after that first quarter, we got them under control defensively, and just a brilliant effort from all of our guys. I was amazed at how much juice they had given the travel and the schedule.
Steve, what did flip in the second quarter there?
I'm sorry?
What flipped in the second quarter there?
Just our physicality. I thought we got into the ball and we're more physical. The first quarter, they were just doing anything they wanted. Jokic was incredible, and they were hitting everything. So started forcing turnovers. We forced 26 for the game, and it felt like the second quarter was when it changed.
I think the first 6.5 minutes of that second quarter, both Steph and Jokic were both out. You guys had a 15-4 run there with both of them out. How important was it to win those non-Steph, non-Jokic minutes?
Yeah, I mean, that's been a really good lineup for us, since we got Jimmy, that top of the second, top of the fourth lineup. It's been very effective against everybody. It just feels like we're going to make a really good defensive stand with that group. And, with Quentin out there, we've got some spacing, so Jimmy's got some room to work with. And the way Brandin is shooting the ball right now, it's impressive to watch.
With Steph dealing with this tailbone injury and him still trying to take 3 charges during the game, does that say something about how seriously the team took this game?
I just think we're in a good groove, and there's a great energy and a great belief, and the guys are connected, playing hard, and so every game is important. We know that we're in a fight just to stay out of the play-in, and everybody's committed, and it's been really fun to watch the group.
Steve, as soon as the game ended over here, Steph went over to the bench and just sort of plopped down. He looked pretty exhausted. Can you offer some context? I mean, as much as you've seen him over the years, to score 125 points in 3 games over 4 nights when your team desperately needed every game, how do you sort of explain that?
In 3 different cities, at 37. He looked so fast out there tonight, and I think maybe it's his most underrated part of his game is his conditioning. Just incredible what he does out there, especially considering how much attention he draws defensively, how much pressure people put on him, and he handles it night after night and flourishes, but incredible athlete.
How much does it?
So that was Steve Kerr right there. Stephen Curry is on a heater, 36 points tonight again, 23 of 45 in his last 3 games from the 3-point line. But we always talk about closing quarters and closing halves. Well, the Warriors were 13 and 23 when trailing after 1 quarter of play. As Willie always says, it's a first quarter league. They're able to flip the switch in the second quarter, and they close the second quarter on a 9-2 run over the last minute at 50. That's just a tough shot. Fezzi, we were watching that together. He said, that's going in. That's going in, because that's what he does.
Steph has a different focus right now, Bonte. And, you know, we talked earlier about the fouling that Steph Curry, whenever you play physical with a guy, it takes a lot of effort and energy to go get a shot off. Steph's conditioning is incredible. Like, it's really hard for guys to keep up with him. You know, we've talked about workouts in the past. There's guys who have tried to work out with Steph Curry in the summer, and they've quit mid-workout because of how hard he continues to push his body. This is him at age 36. It's incredible how all that work in the offseason continues to show now.
And Millie, the third quarter is when the Warriors really put this game away.
Yeah, they doubled him up in the second, 32-16. In the third quarter, they really got loose. As Steve Kerr said, just playing beautiful team basketball. Everyone's in great rhythm. But getting back to Steph, Bonte, and Festus, you know, we talk a lot about physicality and toughness. Physical conditioning is one of the things, and when you wear an opponent down from your conditioning, you got him in your back pocket. When you're trying to double team Steph Curry on the basketball, off the basketball, and he still finds open shots, still gives you 30, 40 points. That's demoralizing to the opposing team, and it really lifts up the confidence of your team. So Steph's conditioning, as Steve mentioned, I thought that was a factor tonight. I saw the dip in Denver's pace, and they love to get out in the fast break.
Yep.
The Warriors wore them down physically. I mean, starting with Steph, but I think from top to bottom, this Warriors team, they look fresh. They look energized.
So you guys beat the Grizzlies, the Lakers, the Nuggets. Those are teams that were ahead of you in the standings, are ahead of you in the standings. Would you say these last three games were some of the best 3 games of the season?
We rolling. Things going good. The team's clicking. Everything's been good. We're definitely on the road, so things are going really good right now.
All right. It was the end of a 6-game road trip. Then you have to play the second night of a back-to-back. So fatigue didn't look like a factor on the scoreboard, but really, how tired were you guys?
Me personally, I was good. I didn't feel fatigued any more than normal. Energy was there. The vibe was there. Everybody was playing hard. Everybody was getting after it. When those emotions, that adrenaline gets in the way, you can't feel any of that.
You're part of a starting 5 that is 14-0. How do you guys bring out the best in each other?
My favorite thing about our group, our team, is that we play to win. So many things can go, like what you're supposed to do, what's supposed to happen, who you're supposed to beat, who you're not supposed to beat. We go out there and try to win by 1 point every game. So we fight it out, and that's my favorite thing about our group.
BP's line tonight, 26, 8, and 6. So he led the team in rebounds, led the team in assists as well. What kind of growth have you seen from him in year 2?
Yeah, he's playing really well. He's slowing the game down, getting in there, making good decisions. I've been really proud to see what he's been doing lately.
What was he like as a rookie? He had that confidence. Have you seen it? Have you seen him dial that up this season?
He had it when he walked in the door, so I wouldn't even say any more than normal. That's just how he is. That comes with BP.
All right, congratulations on 5 straight wins.
No
Thank you.
All right, Mosea Moody, only 3 field goal attempts, but did score 8 points, got to the free throw line twice. On the other side, here on Toyota Warriors post-game live, we'll discuss the Jimmy Butler effect. Jimmy Butler, man, who's been rolling ever since he became a member of the Golden State Warriors. They improved to 21-4 when he suits up and plays it tonight. How about that, Fezzy Phil? 5 steals. He plays shoulder control, 19 points to 5 assists. Jimmy Butler's doing whatever he needs to do to help this team win.
You know how we talked earlier about the 25 turnovers that the Denver Nuggets had? Well, Jimmy's form of playing defense, he is so aggressive. He's the guy who's out there on the weak side getting steals. He's getting points for the Warriors. Whenever the guys turn their heads, the big man is posting up, turns his head, Jimmy Butler is there. He's being the aggressor on the defensive end and is really turning the swag around, the confidence for the Warriors defensively, and that translates to offense.
His impact has been amazing. We know the numbers, the record. They're 21-4 now with Jimmy in the lineup. Just been spectacular impact. I think for me, think back, I can't think of a trade that's had a bigger impact on a team in recent memory. So this thing has been amazing what Jimmy Butler has done. But to me, defensively, he's a really good individual defender. And it's underrated, his athleticism. You see him down the post. Anytime they switch a small in him, it's an automatic paint catch for either a basket, draw a foul, or kick out for a wide open shot for his teammate. But then on the switches, and then if they do decide to double like last night with Luka and LeBron or tonight with Jokic, when it's Jimmy Butler coming out of rotation, he's such a great athlete. He's got great IQ like Draymond. It's not they don't get attacked on those closeouts like they once were. You don't see as many straight line drive blow-bys. It's because of Jimmy, I think, Kuminga's athleticism, and Draymond. So they're doing a much better job individually, but then when they employ double teams, they're much better closing out on defense.
You guys make a great point. He never gets sped up offensively. That patience is so fun to watch.
Now, after all that,
I'm exhausted. I just want to go home, relax, go to sleep. I'm tired.
Draymond, can you put into perspective just like what it's like to guard Jokic on however many minutes you did on a night like this, on the second night of a back-to-back after the road trip that you had?
I mean, he's tough to guard after 5 days off. A lot tougher to guard on the back-to-back, where he's sitting in San Francisco waiting on us to get back. But I think for the most part we did a good job. Saying that he's 13 for 17. He got those threes going there in that third quarter, I think it was. But thought we kept a body on him. He had some tough shots. Why he's great. But overall, I think we did the job and got it done. So it's always a tough challenge. Loon was great on him. His minutes. He got nothing easy. We could live with it.
you made your call on how the season's going to end up a while ago, but winning in Memphis, beating the Lakers in LA, winning this game on the back-to-back, obviously all playoff teams you might end up playing. What does that tell you guys about yourselves and what's possible?
It just confirms who we thought we were. We said from the time we got Jimmy, this team, the sky's the limit for this team, and I think, these games matter. Talked about it yesterday of just getting these young guys these meaningful game minutes. They're playing great. BP was incredible again tonight. Everybody off the bench. QP was good in his minutes. JK was really good in his minutes. So I think it's important for us to continue to play at this level, at a high level. Steph Curry, I thought he'd win Player of the Week after yesterday. I think he'll really win it after today. But, man, Jimmy he put so much pressure on their defense. He put a lot of pressure on their offense. I think just further prove we are who we thought we were.
Draymond,
And let's check out the latest odds for Defensive Player of the Year. Draymond Green is widening the gap between him and Evan Mobley. Remember, Evan Mobley was a favorite a few weeks ago. He's now plus 350. So if you bet 100 on Evan Mobley, you have the chance to win 350 if you think he's going to upset Draymond Green. Right now, the juice is all on Draymond Green to win his second DPOY award and become the oldest player to win Defensive Player of the Year. So the betting odds favor Draymond Green. The Oklahoma City Thunder riding an 11-game winning streak as they take on the Houston Rockets in Houston. Houston trying to hold on to the number 2 spot in the Western Conference.
That's
already
tough,
up
big
19.
Wow.
Alvaroon Şengün with the spin move, that little tornado fence he fell.
Weight room.
And then the Rockets up big here, 11 in the fourth quarter. Jalen Green with a big-time three-pointer there.
Monte,
he had 34 points tonight.
We've been waiting all year long for the Rockets to come back to normal because you felt like they're a young team, but they've really been putting it on all year.
No doubt. They'll be in town on Sunday now, 51-27 on the season. OKC 64-13. Luka trying to bounce back from last night. Last night he was 0-6 for the three-point line. You see him hit that shot right there.
That's 40
Lakers
years
out
old.
running. They're blowing away the
Seems
Pelicans.
like you see that at least once or twice a game.
Absolutely. All day long. They bounce back from the loss against the Golden State Warriors.
Clippers are
It's a back-to-back.
Clip joint.
Mavericks and Clippers will play tomorrow night as well at the Intuit Dome. Kawhi later.
Kawhi played on both nights?
Well, tomorrow they'll play again. We'll see if he does play tomorrow night against Dallas as they're holding on to the 9th spot that Dallas Mavericks had is. Kawhi, he looks like he's all the way back.
Listen, man, that's one of the scarier players in the NBA right now. If he's healthy, does everything. Defense, offense, Kawhi is really tough.
No, he is tough, and the Clippers are playing some really good basketball right now as we check out the wild Western Conference standings. And these are updated, folks. It's the Warriors going to win here at Chase Center after coming back from a 14-day, 6-game road trip.
Wow.
They're now 46-31, tied in the loss column with the Denver Nuggets. How about that? Still a game up on the T-Wolves as the T-Wolves jump up to the 6th spot in the Western Conference. The Clippers hanging tough there with the 7 spot, 45-32, tied with Minnesota and the Memphis Grizzlies. So you have a three-way tie for 6th place in the Western Conference. You have the Mavericks at 9, and it's Kings there. They blew out the Charlotte Hornets tonight. They're now 37-40, but the Warriors now a game behind the Lakers in the loss column. However, the Lakers have the tiebreaker over the Dubs as well as Denver. They have the tiebreaker over the Golden State Warriors, but it is important that the Warriors are playing their best basketball right now.
Really close race. This is why every game at this point is the most important game, because one loss could mean dropping all the way back to 9th in the NBA right now in the West. And that means you're in the box. That means you're playing for your life. You're essentially playing a game to see if you move on or you stay back. Plus, the Warriors don't want to be in the box because they want a week off in between the regular season and the playoffs. So a lot to play for right now, but also a reason why it's so inspiring that in a playoff-type atmosphere, on a back-to-back, you need to win. You got all your guys are banged up right now. Steph Curry, Gary Payton II, Jonathan Kuminga, Jimmy Butler, all these guys on the injury report. But tonight, coming out in the game, didn't even matter if it was a back-to-back, you're tired, you're not, playing incredible basketball. Defense was really impressive. All those things are a positive sign for the Warriors and just a reason for the confidence to continue to build.
Yeah, I think the Warriors are playing so well now, too, that a lot of those bumps and bruises are being pushed aside because they feel so good about how the team is performing. And I think, too, the motivation is to stack. They got 5 games left. Make sure they finish out of the play-in situation. That means you're playing great basketball, but maybe more importantly, you get that week off to rest, recover, and prepare for your first-round playoffs.
They may mess around and get a home court advantage in the first round, which is insane to think about with where they were back in early February here. As we take a look at tonight's Toyota poll results, we asked the fans out there, what would be the toughest matchup for the Golden State Warriors in the first round? Earlier today, it was 62% with Denver. After the Warriors blow them away tonight at Chaser, 61% still believe Denver would be the toughest matchup. I'll start with you, Fezifel. Who would be the most difficult matchup for the Warriors in the first round?
I say every one of those matchups are tough. It's the West. Everybody's tough. But I believe the Lakers would be the toughest matchup because you have LeBron and Luka. Both those guys are mismatches. They're playing that position and that size. LeBron is like a big man in the way that he can manhandle his defenders, but also a guy who's a playmaker. You have 2 guys that can make plays and make their teammates better. I think that they're actually a deeper team than the Denver Nuggets, and that's one of the reasons why I think the Lakers will be a tougher matchup.
I agree with the voters. I think it's Denver. You got to remember Jamal Murray did not play tonight, so I think their top 4 or 5 guys are proven, the championship caliber. You put in Jokic, the 3-time MVP. The fact that they're big, strong, they can draw fouls, that's a concern. The other teams, look, you have to respect all and fear none. The Rockets are proven they're a 2 seed. I do think the Lakers, that they can stabilize, neutralize Luka and LeBron. And if I look at the remaining roster after Luka and LeBron, I take the Warriors all day.
It's really crazy also that all 3 teams are playing all of them back to back to back. And this is the last team, the Nuggets are, the last team that the Warriors hadn't beaten that's above the Warriors in the standings.
And now this gauntlet, right? The 4-game gauntlet. They're 3-0 after beating Memphis, the Lakers, and of course tonight, the Denver Nuggets. But Pods becomes the youngest Warriors player to have back-to-back 25-5-5 games.
Impressive.
Since Stephen Curry back in 2010. Pods is hooping right now. He's on the heater, and right now he's at the podium.
How do you view these last 2 games for you? Sort of what got you in this groove, and how much do you think? I mean, Steph having these outbursts helps everybody, but how much has it helped you in terms of just space, attention, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I think honestly, I look at it in the reverse. I look at me, Moses, J.K., Quinn, all helping Jimmy and Steph, and I think by us being a threat, by us scoring. Peyton Watson was on me tonight. And usually when we play Denver, they put Porter Jr. on me. And so having to take another quality defender off Steph, it just helps our team in totality. And then, obviously I'm shooting the ball well. It's pretty obvious with that, but just try to help, our big dogs as much as we can.
Like zone play number 3, Stephen Curry in his bag. Michael Porter Jr., no shot there. Stephen Curry will dance all night with the best of them.
Wow.
3 of his 36 points. Again, he's been on the heater.
That's a 6'10" athlete.
That is a 6'10" athlete. Stephen Curry, 23 of 45 his last 3 games.
Young people, don't try this at home.
No, please don't. Young people, old people, people who are in the NBA, don't try it at home. Play number 2, Stephen Curry again with the rock. going through the defense. Fezzi called this one as well.
Look at the
That's
defense.
going in.
You see 3 people all around
No,
Steph.
I saw 3 Nuggets and 1 Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield almost blocked it.
The play was discombobulated. It's kind of like that play against the Clippers way back when, Fez. You remember that?
Where Steve just put his hands on his head?
I think Steve did the same thing here.
I think Steve is used to it. This one. That's the ultimate
I think
green
Mike
light.
Malone did.
Mike Malone did. And then play number 1 here, Jimmy Butler. Nice pass to Draymond, back to Steph.
I told you about the poise, right? The ball goes to Jimmy, it goes back to Draymond, and it gets to Steph in the corner.
I mean,
just the ability to move the ball. This is crazy. What do you do as a defense?
You call it a relocate, but it's an insane shot. He just makes them all the time.
And look at 49ers wide receiver Brandin Ayuk rehabbing his knee. He sees what's up. Stephen Curry gives him some love. Good to see Brandin Ayuk in the building. Hopefully he bounces back with the Niners this season. But look at the most points in April. Stephen Curry without the free throws. You see him with the free throws. Folks, he's playing at a high level as we take a look at our Toyota drive ahead.
April, he's making everyone look like fools.
Well played, Bully. Well played, Bully. The Houston Rockets coming to town, and the Warriors have already faced the Rockets 4 times this season. However, in the last 3 matchups, the Warriors have held Houston to under 100 points, Fezzi.
So here's what I love about the last week, Monte. Before we even get to the Rockets, the Warriors lost 2 games in a row. And after that, they ran off for 5 games in a row, 5 wins. What that means is the Warriors they're just able to bounce back from hard times. And you can attribute that to all the things that have happened this season so far, but that's a positive sign moving forward.
Side note, Steph Curry didn't play in those 2 games.
Welcome back, Steph.
FYI.
I think that might matter.
Dubs Talk Live is next, everybody.